Welcome back to Believe in Badgers on the Believe Network, presented by FanDuel and Oak Ridge Wealth Management. I'm Matt Perkins, joined, as always, by Badger legend, the Hebrew Hammer himself, Matt Bernstein. Bernie, how are we doing this morning here on not a Monday morning fullback, kind of like a Thursday morning fullback? We've been on the road. We've been, just juggling a lot of stuff in our lives, but it's good to see you, buddy.
It's good to see you too. Sorry, everybody. It's not easy. I know this is going to sound terrible, but I had to go to Vegas for work. Left Monday real early, got back late last night, so it was kind of hard to do a podcast. But I think this is going to be an exciting one. I mean, we have so much to recap. We have so much to talk about. It's not all good. And I think what happens at Illinois is a big game for us. And we mentioned this, Matt Perkins, 2 weeks ago or last week, that this is huge and it's becoming even more important as we speak due to all these other things happening.
Well, before we get into the news of the day and looking ahead to Illinois, let's look back towards the game that the Badgers played at Indiana this past weekend. Badgers end up losing this one. I think final score was 31-10, give or take. I mean, it's been so long, Bernie, that I can't even remember the score off the top of my head. Nonetheless, I think Wisconsin looked really competitive there in the first half. 31-7 was the final score.
Yeah.
Badgers looked competitive in the first half. The offense got going a little bit there early, but in the second half, I think, in my opinion, they just got way, way, way too conservative on offense. They had like one or two shots downfield. We saw the overthrow to Darren Dupree on the wheel route. But I still think that the defense played really well. And again, just in the second half, they were on the field so much that they were going to get tired. But the first half, there were some, real signs of life there against the number 2 team in the country.
I agree. I think, sadly, Wisconsin can be summed up in like our first drive. We did pretty well, and then we miss a field goal. And I mean, it is exactly what we're just not built yet to come out and punch somebody in the mouth. Like Barry always said, we're just not built to do those things. We're not built to sustain. We show glimpses here and there. Like, it's exciting to watch some of these guys play at certain times, right? And at certain times we like make these huge mistakes that cost us everything. That is a momentum killer right away. And that cuts like a knife. I was like, man, if this goes in, we're going to be competitive all day. You just get the hope. You start believing. You miss the field goal, you're like, we're back to normal. Here we go. And yes, you can stay competitive, but you knew, first off, I think a lot of teams are sleeping on us, right? I don't think anyone's out. Like Maryland came ready to play. The rest of the teams, even Oregon didn't play. Like, these teams aren't playing great against us. Ohio State didn't play great against us, but they didn't.
Iowa did,
but Iowa needed to. So like, what I'm nervous about is we're almost that game that, like this sandwich game of where you overthink or you're not preparing, you're just mentally not there. And I've played in those games where you play terribly because you're like, oh, this team sucks. So I think we're not built yet. That killed me to see. But I love the competitiveness. The offense, we were competitive in the first half. Like, it was great to see that. Listen, I'm high on Carter Smith. I've smoking him. I'm high on him. Because why not, man? It gives me something hopeful. And as more, first off, I hate the announcers, and I feel like they're all terrible. How many times are you going to tell me he ran the scout team last year?
Or last
3 weeks ago? Like, dude, shut up. Like, okay, I hear that. And it's true. It's just annoying to hear it 100 times. But he's right, though, right? Like, this dude spent 4 weeks or 2 weeks preparing for football, 1 week as the starter to go play at Indiana. They're a number 2 team in the nation. That's a tough position. What I like is that he's not giving up. He seems to have the dudes around him. To me, these are all really good, like, qualities. Yeah. That I like to see. And now it's important. The home game against Illinois, he's the starter. I want to see him do well. We have injury upon injury upon injury, which is killing us also. Do we have another tailback? Like, who's
Well,
left?
I mean, that's where I want to talk with you, Bernie. Obviously, the injury to Gideon Atuka was scary. Having him have to get carted off the field was
Yeah.
scary. Now we know he was able to fly back with the team, which is great news. I can't imagine we're going to see him again for the rest of the season after that injury. You had Darren Dupree on a snap count. Dylan Jones is out. Katie Yakimelli is out. I mean, we saw some, I think, Grover Bortolotti in there for a minute. Like, it's when you're down to your walk on, your fifth string walk on running back against the number 2 team in the country. I mean, what are you gonna do, man? Like, I think at this point, it wouldn't shock me if they put Jackson Aker back there just to get some snaps, like to have someone who is at least baseline competent at running the ball, how to see a hole. But when you do that and you take your best blocking tight end off the field, then you're maybe asking a guy like JT Seagraves to come in and play some more meaningful snap. We've seen some more Jackson McGowan at the tight end position, which is nice, but he's almost a pure pass catcher. So I am curious what happens there this weekend against Illinois. I was expecting the offense to incorporate Carter Smith's legs more with more designed runs. But at the same time, I can kind of understand why Jeff Grimes didn't want to do that and didn't want to expose him to more big hits, just considering how thin the quarterback room is. So I think that did limit their game plan somewhat. And obviously, you can't run any of the super complex, passing concepts that they might wanted to do with a Billy Edwards Jr. or even with a Danny O'Neal. That being said, I was still disappointed, especially in the second half, with the play calling. It felt like, some of the classic run, incomplete pass that we got frustrated with at the end of the Christ era. I felt like they could have done something a little bit more, I was impressed, though, with Carter Smith's ability they were running a lot of motion there, especially in the first half. And I did think Carter Smith did a very good job handling that and timing the snap counts with all of the motion and his ball handling. I would expect to see that expanded here against Illinois. But flipping over to the defensive side of the ball for another minute, I was still really impressed with the front of the Badgers. I still think that defensive line is playing incredibly well. Those freshman linebackers are still playing incredibly well, but it is disheartening to see another top line quarterback just completely pick the defense apart. Fernando Mendoza goes 22 for 24 with 4 touchdowns. And even if the passing yards aren't massive, we've seen the same thing with Julian Sayin, with Ty Simpson, now with Fernando Mendoza. The efficiency with which they throw the ball is staggering. And Wisconsin is a bottom 5 team in the nation in pass efficiency defense. Great against the run, but they're just getting absolutely picked apart against the pass. I don't know if that's because the DBs are playing too far off the line and these guys are getting free releases all the time. I don't know if that's because there is, just basic scheme and they're able to get guys open or whatnot. There was a better pass rush. I think Wisconsin had 5 sacks in this game, but unless the linebackers and defensive line are getting to the quarterback, it's a completion darn near every single time. And you can't live that way in college football in 2025.
No, listen, I'll say that the defense played great. I mean, I really do. Yes, they gave up 31 points, but in this season we're having, they keep us competitive. I mean, they really do. Imagine if our defense was two rungs down. It's a 45-point game. So I hear what you're saying. 22 to 24. We knew this dude is a dude. Like, we knew he was really good. Their wide receivers are really good.
Even without Elijah Surratt, who's their number one receiver.
They were good. They were on point with each other. I mean, think about it. That's a guy who practices with his dudes. Like, they're doing it every day. Carter Smith and the rest of our guys are brand new.
Yeah, I mean, their top receiver in that game, Charlie Becker, Nashville's own, right here, came in and absolutely torched the Badgers, which was, definitely bittersweet.
I think if you look at something we can improve in, yes, obviously pass protection. Not pass protection is one of them. Pass defense is for sure one of them. I thought we were getting pressure. I thought we were getting home. We just weren't, Mason Posa's fingernail almost hit that ball for that touchdown. And that would have been a different play
Yeah,
if that happened.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I
Daryl
I
Peterson, by the way, 2.5 sacks in this game.
is killing it. Oh my
DP is
goodness.
having. I'm so glad that he is having. It has been really blossoming here in his final year on campus because he's a guy that stuck through it. Has
Yep.
had some criticism outside. He was supposed to be the great pass rusher, and then maybe didn't have the sack stats the last couple of years. And he's been incredible. Him and Reiger are a really, really great edge combo. And
Listen, these guys have stepped up on defense.
Ben Barton.
I think we're
Ben
also
Barton
selling
has
out.
turned himself from
Yep.
someone who was an afterthought into a guy that I think is going to get picked in the NFL draft now.
He reminds me now of JJ. Oh, why am I forgetting his name? I was just with Antosh
Justin
in
Jefferson.
Vegas. Justin Jefferson. Like, he's like almost nobody knows who he is. He takes a double team all the time, but he doesn't get defeated. And when he does, he makes plays. Like Jason Jefferson, like nobody knew who he was. And then his senior year, he's like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. He played a bunch in the league. But so I would say we're also selling out for the run. I mean, we are trying to stop the run, and that's it. Because you have to pick your poison. I mean, we really do. And we've been letting teams pick us apart on defense.
Yeah, I mean, they are, again, like they're relying on the on especially on defense, like you said, they're getting picked apart. They're either gain to the quarterback or it's a completion. It's one or the other, and they don't have it any other way. Linebackers are still growing. I'm still really happy with Catalano and Post. We saw Allegro come back with what looked like a 25-pound club on his arm.
Good to see him back, though.
Made a couple plays. We both really like Allegro, really like the energy that he brings to the field. But I still think that this team is really missing Preston Zachman on the back end. Matt Young has, tried, I think, to make some plays, but Preston Zachman is someone that they really miss over there on the back end, especially, like Austin Brown's doing his best, but he got beat for a couple plays that ended up in either big chunk yardage or scores. Speaking of Preston Zachman, though, we do have a little bit of announcement here on Believe in Badgers. We will be doing a live show this coming week, this coming Monday, with Preston Zachman to preview the Minnesota game. In the link in the bio of this show, link in the show descriptions. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's Thursday morning Fullback here. Everything is discombobulated. You can get your free tickets to the event. Space is limited, but you come in, you can even get on air with us, ask Preston some questions, ask us some questions. It's going to be really cool. So make sure that you are showing up. We want to see everyone there. Whoever can come and join us here to chat with us, to chat with Preston. It's going to be a really cool event. It's going to be a unique event here, 7:30 Monday evening, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. So make sure to check the link in the show description. We have it up on social media. Bernie, I'm really excited to talk with Preston about just his unique experience as well, and take a look ahead to the battle for the Axe.
It's going to be unique, and it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, trying something new. We've been trying some new stuff all fall, Bernie. Live shows.
It's going to be exciting.
Madison,
it's going to be exciting. I'm pumped.
Fun stuff.
I just want to go back for one more thing, and then we have to move on because time keeps on ticking into the future.
Steve Miller, band, very good from Madison.
Listen, I'm excited to see what Carter Smith looks like. There was a couple plays that you're like, man, what's going on here? And it's not anyone's fault. Listen, I love our guy Vinny, but that drop, there was not a soul around. Like he was
taking that to the house.
That was a touchdown.
And that's a completely different game. It's a completely different game.
Well, we could have been up by 10 points at that point. So, we have the ability to make some plays and to score points and to do these things. The problem is we just aren't doing them. And that is what hurts the most, because when you don't do them, these other teams who are sleeping or are like, waiting, just not ready to play yet, take advantage of that. It's a whole different, we might have won. We might have lost by 17-10. I mean, something was a little bit more respectable. So listen, and I also agree when you look at the plan, the game plan, the 21st plays, the scripted plays were good calls. Second half, we got back into we just need to waste time on the clock We need to slow. Now, you know what I would do against Illinois, since we're going to pivot right now? I'm actually going to say, let the game clock run down. Or let our, like, take,
Yeah,
what do you get, 35 seconds?
Let's talk some Illinois
Let's talk.
because
I think game control is the most, first off, most important is we can't lose by a lot. We can't get killed on our own home turf. I think it will destroy the program if that happens. Here's what I would say. I would say we need to manage everything. I'm also coming up with creative ways that the Badgers could try to, do something here. Here's what I would suggest. Snap the ball within 10 seconds every single time. Let the game clock go. Because the more you play, the more snaps offense has, and the quicker they are getting off the field too quick. So we are letting our defense get a little sip of water, and then they're basically right back on the field. So I'm proposing that we slow it down on offense. Let our guys get a breath. It's literally going to be 5 to 7 seconds longer per play, which will eat away at the game clock, which I think gives us a better chance. It's not like we're going to touch the ball 10 times. We're going to touch it 7 times.
Yeah.
So, let's manage that time while we're touching it.
Yeah. For me, there's a couple keys against Illinois. They have a solid quarterback in Luke Altmaier. That being said, Luke Altmaier really struggles with pressure, really struggles with handling, with zero blitzes, bringing 6. I think you're going to see Wisconsin do a lot of that this weekend to force him to make quick decisions and get the ball out of his hands, because we know if guys can sit back there in the pocket, they can completely pick the defensive backfield apart. So that is the number one thing to me on defense is, can we get them into obvious passing situations? And when we do, I'd bet a lot that they're going to blitz him. They're going to bring the blitz and either get to him, which we've seen them do better in recent weeks, or force him to make really quick decisions on offense. Who's going to run the ball? Who's just going to touch the ball on offense? At this point, I might be open to lining up Tretch as a running back and seeing what he can do.
That's a good thought. That's an interesting thought.
Honestly, if we're a banged up Darian Dupree, Jackson Anchor, and Tretch Kekauna at running back would not be the wildest thing for me to see.
Listen, you got to get him the ball. He's been getting the ball a little bit more, but not as much as I thought he would when Grimes came in. And I think that's a mistake. He's a playmaker.
He is.
So I'm not against seeing him. I actually think that's pretty interesting to put him back there, let him get some reps. You got to see Carter Smith have a better throwing day. I mean, we have to be able to throw the ball a little bit.
Also think that we need to use Carter Smith's legs.
Right, but let's roll out.
Yeah, let's roll out.
Me and my homies.
Roll out.
This is so bad. But we really need to roll out. I mean, I actually think we need to do some zone reads. You got to let him read the ball. I think he made one big mistake in the game on a zone read. But that's a zone read, and it's hard because these, every play when you're reading the D end is different. He doesn't do the same thing. They're not robots. But on offense, we got to move. We got to stay on the field, and we got to eat clock away, and we can't give them the ball. And I think we need to be creative.
But are they going to be able to eat clock with whatever they have in the backfield, man? And the fact that this offensive line still isn't run blocking super.
Then you know what? Let the clock go down to 3 seconds.
Yep.
It take as much time. Listen, if you're on for 3 plays, you can't be on for 1 minute and a half. Or a minute 20 seconds. You're giving no time for anyone to do. It's hard to coach when you only get a minute and 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to do it, don't do it. It seems crazy, but imagine how pissed people are going to be. Not fans, hopefully, but the other team's going to be they're taking forever. What's going on here?
Coach Hammer says bleed the clock.
Bleed it, because you want to be on the field. Bleed the clock. Make sure you get the right play call in that you want. You don't feel rushed. And then, listen, you're not looking up and going, oh, my God, there's 10 minutes on the clock. and we've had the ball, or there's 13 minutes on the clock and we've already had the ball. Like, I'd rather say there's 10 minutes on the clock and we had the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds crazy.
But you got to get first downs to do that, Bernie. In the second half,
got to get first downs, so we got to be able to have 50% at least. Carter Smith's got to throw, 50% or better. Like, we can't have a 4 for whatever he went. It's not going to work.
And like Matt Bernstein, like the statistical profile of Wisconsin. I come back to this every week, but Matt Bernstein, Badgers are only converting 31% of their third downs on offense.
Bleed the clock.
Like, how are you going to bleed the clock if you're going 3 and out? Scoring offense.
You bleed the clock for 3 plays. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Second to last in the country, 12 points per game. I mean, it's total offense, 130. Like, it is as bad an offense as we've ever seen in Madison.
Well, Matt Perkins, let's go into this for 1 second. We've had almost no consistency on the line. They've been moved around.
No, the only position that's had consistency is the wide receiver room.
But so on offense, how do you think we should do better when you've consistently put in? If you want to talk about consistency,
you got to coach them up.
You got to coach them up. But you have linemen playing almost every position. It's usually you have a right guard was a right guard. And like maybe he would play left guard if, like, God forbid, everyone on left guard got hurt. But this is a different day and age when you had 2s and you had 3s, guys who could step in and play a little bit. And
guys who had been conditioned to do that for 3 years.
Also true. It's a different culture.
And the same system every
But we've had different running backs. We've had 4 quarterbacks. I mean, we're also having an unsuccessful season, so we're stretching what we're trying to find something that works.
Yeah.
And again, you and me at the beginning of the year said we need to play the young people and let them get experience. If you were going to throw this season away, I'd rather look at what the Jets did. Hey, we always go back to them, but they got rid of all their good players so they can rebuild.
Yep.
I'm not saying the Badgers need to rebuild, but I'm saying
I am.
But they did need to retool and start with the freshmen. And now you're seeing, I guess, let's look at what's happening in this day and age because we're getting late. We're having dudes decommit up, down, left, and right. And they're actually, you can hear what they're saying because of social media, which is banana boats to me. But you can hear what their thought process, and a lot of their thought process is, what happens if Fickle gets fired next year? And why would they be wrong? They're right, actually.
Yeah, so let's move into the news of the day. Wisconsin's down.
We kept him. Somebody said we kept him because of the recruiting class.
That was me.
Okay. I thought I read an article too. I'm
sure there are articles out there saying that, but I was one of those people who was echoing that.
I actually think my pushback is if you keep him, there might be guys who are jumping ship. I mean, listen, no matter what, you're not going to get it right because this day and age, nobody cares about anything. So our thought was, let's start anew, play the freshman, build something different, have a guy come over from, New Mexico, let's say, and bring 5 to 10 of his guys that he loves, trusts, and wants to build a different culture.
20 of them. I mean, look what Kurt Cignetti did at Indiana. I mean, he brought like half the James Madison roster with him. And
in 1 year, he built something, and then the second year, they're number 2. Okay, okay. So, I mean, I'm just sad to see these guys decommitting. It's not abnormal to see like Oklahoma say, hey, do you want to take an official visit? Like, maybe you should rethink this because you have all these guys. Everyone's a slimy salesperson, right?
Yep.
And you're like, hey, listen, you're committed to the Badgers. You're going to win 5 games in your career. You have no idea what's going to happen next year. But why, if I would say that if I was somebody else, like, why wouldn't you?
I mean,
speak to me, Matt Perkins. Why wouldn't you?
That's exactly what I would do if I was in their place. In the past week, we saw Maddox Cochran, the offensive lineman from Virginia, decommit and say, I think what was the quote he gave Evan Flood? I just can't. I mean, that's a pretty sad state of the Badgers. We saw Ben Novak, who I think was the longest, who had been committed the longest of anyone on the team. Offensive lineman from Indiana flip to Indiana and, basically say that he thought Indiana was a more professional program than Wisconsin. And it's hard to argue at this point, especially after you saw.
Isn't Ben Novak a 3-star?
No, Novak's a borderline 4-star. Cochran's a 3-star. Novak, it depends on the site of the 3 or a 4-star. He's a much higher rated offensive lineman. He was one of the targets that, AJ Blazik really identified from the beginning. But, so that leaves Wisconsin with no offensive linemen in the current class, which is, yeah, they took 5 in the 2025 cycle, but 0 offensive lineman recruits for 2026. I mean, that is insane to me. National Signing Day is 2 weeks away.
So again, I don't know how to. I don't know what to do, say, or like. I don't want to be so negative all the time, but
it's hard not to be. Bernie.
We saw this on the wall. Like we saw this written in the stars. I'm going into like all these songs. That's Timmy Tempa, something like that. It's a great song written in the stars. Sadly, like Matt Perkins, you and I are like couch potato quarterbacks. Like, let's be real. And you and I get paid no money really to be a Badger expert in any type of way. And yet we said this is going to happen.
And it's happening.
And it's happening.
But like also like if I'm an offensive recruit, do I want to go and play for arguably the worst offense in all of college football? Probably not. Probably if I'm an offensive lineman, I'm going to want to go out there and play for a team that runs the ball well, because if you're an offensive lineman, run blocking is fun. Pass blocking sucks. And so, because rarely are you going to get those pancakes in pass blocking, but run blocking, you get to go downhill. You get to really hit dudes instead of absorb the hit. And Wisconsin has like the worst or one of the worst run games in the nation right now. So, yeah, I don't entirely blame those guys, especially like it sounds like Cochran from Virginia didn't want to be 13 hours from home. And now he's probably going to end up at Virginia Tech, who's got a new coach in James Franklin. And yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame Ben Novak for wanting to go to the number 2 team in the country. That is his home state school. But, so it goes. Hey, folks, before we continue, I want to remind everyone tuning in that we continue to be proudly presented by Chris Anicetti and his entire team over at Oak Bridge Wealth Management. If you're a collegiate athlete or parent of a collegiate athlete navigating NIL opportunities, Chris and his team are here to help maximize your earnings and protect your future. We all know that athletes train hard to be the best on the field, but who's making sure they're winning off the field? Chris Anicetti and his entire team at Oak Bridge Wealth Management. That's who. They don't just manage your money. They handle your entire financial world. From building a rock-solid financial plan tailored for athletes to paying bills, budgeting, setting up LLCs, and securing financing for cars, equipment, and whatever else you need so that you can focus on your game. Your career is short. Make every dollar count. Oak Bridge Wealth Management, where athletes build lasting wealth. Get in touch with Chris on Instagram at oakbridgewm_Anicetti. That's oakbridgewm_ANICETE, or head on over to their website at oakbridgewealthmgmt.com. Chris Anicetti, Oak Bridge Wealth Management, they've been helping a lot of NCAA athletes and professional athletes get their money right. There's no one else better for this around that you are going to find. So make sure to get in touch with Chris and support the people who support us. All right, we're going to hop back into the show.
And so it goes, Matt Perkins. I'll tell you this, as a fan and as someone who cares deeply and like truly passionate about the Badgers, this is really frustrating. Like
frustrating, I think, is the most PC word that we can use for it.
It's like, and listen, we know it's money. We can't afford it. And that is 1, frustrating, 2, annoying, and 3, like, we're unwilling to even no one is coming out and saying we just can't, there's no truth being told. And that is really annoying too. We have no linemen for the next year. We were linemen we had guys who are the best linemen in the country here.
Lining up to come to Wisconsin, too.
Yeah.
Lining up to Wisconsin.
Sadly, this hurts. It hurts, right? The leadership is keeping the status quo of what we're doing. These are all frustrating. I don't care who's listening. This sucks to me. We're not really making any type of actual investment in the team to fix it. You can't just say $20 million is going to be better. Or what did they say? I saw in an article, we're going to be the top 5 NIL. But we're still bottom of the barrel for everything else. Why would you? So it's frustrating to say, we'll give you more money. We're going to get, a couple guys? Now we have to go back to the portal.
And that's the frustrating thing for us, because we have been preaching this since day one.
you're not going to win as a pure portal team.
Who are you going to get in the portal? Who's in the portal?
And guess what? Like what?
Like,
like, okay, yeah, you might get like one or two good offensive linemen in the portal. Great, but like, are we going to do another portal quarterback? What's going to happen there? Is Billy Edwards Jr. going to come back? Is he not going to come back? He's going to try to get that medical red shirt. Do you want to, like, honestly, at this point, I'm just like, keep play Carter Smith at this
Matt
point.
Bergens, do you want to, well, let's just forecast what we think's going to, here's what I think is going to happen. You don't have any linemen. Everyone's decommitting. You're going to have a small class. You're going to go to the portal hard. You've made this mistake every year. It's the fourth year in a row you're going to make this mistake. Yeah. We said 2 weeks ago or last week, you have to go get one great lineman from the portal. Yep. Possibly two if you can afford it, and there are two guys. However, I think we're going to go to the portal for probably 4 or 5 linemen. All subpar, I would have to believe. Instead of buying 1 or 2 great guys, we're going to buy 4 guys that are not top tier. Mm-hmm. Makes me nervous. That's what I'm thinking. I definitely think we go and get I think Danny O'Neal, I think Hunter Simmons. Hunter Simmons might stay, but I think Danny O'Neal's going to leave. I think if I had to take a guess, I think Billy Edwards Jr. is either going to – I think he's going to ask for a medical red shirt and leave because he sees that Carter Smith's the guy. He's not going to start. It's not – I mean, maybe it's a competition or they phrase it as that. It won't be.
Oh, man.
Because we need Carter Smith to play. He's going to have the team by then. And listen, I think Billy Edwards Jr.'s knee is worse than anyone let on about.
Well, it clearly is because he's not playing.
And I think that is so what I'm frustrated with is like everything is wrong that they're doing. Maybe it's almost like.
Well, and Matt Bernstein, like for me, the other thing that I get so frustrated with is why is this team so injured every single year under Luke Fickell? Why, like what is it? Once a fluke, two's a trend. Now we're at 3 years in a row where we've seen more injuries than we've ever seen to this team. Whether it's soft tissue injuries or otherwise. Why is this happening?
But I was talking about this with Antaj actually at the casino at the Bellagio. And we were like, dude, back in the day, like we were trying to think of guys who got hurt. Like in the one depth.
Yeah.
You had guys get hurt, but it wasn't drastic. You didn't have 20 guys on the not playing list.
You didn't have your top 3, 4 running backs, whatever, like all hurt.
Yeah, listen, AD was hurt a bunch here and there.
Some, but it wasn't like Book was then hurt too.
No, you're right. It wasn't like there was one game where everyone was hurt except for a really fat fullback.
Yeah.
Outside of that game.
It happened for one game, not the entire season.
And AD came back and destroyed Ohio State the next week.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was out for 10 games. So when when we think back, like, I don't know what the difference was. Was it JD? I think these guys are strong. I think we still had the field turf. Look, Lee Evans got hurt on the old turf in a fluke. They both, 2 guys went up and he came down wrong. So I don't know. Dude, also, if you look, the NFL is the same. Yep. Dudes are hurt every week. If you play fantasy football, it's like half your team is questionable or out or doubtful. It's nuts. So I can't say it's like, yes, it's us. Look, Oklahoma, Indiana play without their best guy.
Their best wide receiver, yeah.
Same with it happens but it's so weird. I would agree. Why is it happening so much across football? Like, I can't say that people are softer because like these are real injuries.
I think part of it is because we're making kids specialize in football from such a young age and not cross-training them across multiple sports that they're using those specific football muscles only. Sure, and you don't have kids playing basketball, playing baseball, running track, playing lacrosse, whatever those out-of-season sports are. They're just working football and playing 7-on-7 when it's not the fall. And because of that, they're, the wear and tear on those specific muscles is so much more acute than it would be if you are playing basketball or baseball or whatever in the off season. Bernie, we're going to wrap it up here today.
Dude, what's the spread? You didn't even tell me.
Well, that's where we're going right now.
Oh, let's go there. I want to know what the spread is.
So Wisconsin at home is a 7.5 point dog to Illinois. as optimistic and as glass half full as I usually am, as we usually are here, I have a tough time thinking the Badgers are going to keep it within 10. Illinois is a healthier team. Illinois at this point is a more talented team with a better offensive line, and a head coach who we know wants to, twist the knife when he plays Wisconsin. And like Coach B is not going to shy away from that. Coach, like, I actually really like Coach B as a guy. Like, he's a fun hang. He is he's a guy.
He's a good coach.
He's a good coach. He says what's on his mind. He's not afraid. They have a bunch of Badgers on that staff. James White, Aaron Henry, I want to say Antonio Finellis, or I don't know if he's still there, but he was there for a while. A bunch of guys who are former Badgers who are going to want to stick it to UW, in some way, shape, or form. And so, like, I have a tough time imagining that Wisconsin stays within 10. I've got I've got Illinois winning 27-10 here, but I'm curious with Bernie, if you think Wisconsin's going to cover that spread.
The thing is, our defense is playing great.
Our defense is playing great.
I don't think we give up 30 points.
No.
Because they're so much better. But I think they play a lot of football, and that always bodes well for the offense.
Matt Burns,
the other teams on the field.
The thing to me is Wisconsin, we talked about this time and time again. Pass efficiency offense against Wisconsin, we can't stop the pass. They're 12th in the nation in pass efficiency offense. That's what scares me. I don't think they're going to be able to run. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball. I think I wouldn't be so shocked if we help.
I would say 27-10 is a pretty solid. I mean, that's a scoring twice.
24-10, 27-10,
somewhere like around there. I mean, and sadly, 21-10 I would take because it's respectable. I cannot say in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. Also, why aren't we calling timeouts ever? It's been a plague for us. We don't want to score points. We don't want to try. What I'm also concerned about is I think Coach B they need a win too.
Yeah.
They need a win. So
they're 21st in the nation, and they would need a lot to break right for them them to make the college football playoff, but it's college football. Weird things happen.
I mean, they're not going to I don't think they're going to score 70 on us, and that would get them higher. They're going to be top 20 team. They won't be in the 12. But if you want to be 18 and go to a bowl game that's super respectable, or be 15, you got to put it on us.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to try. I mean, that would be my motivation to the team is like, guys, I don't want to end up 21 in the nation. I want to end up 13. I want to end up 12, honestly. But if we're not 12, I want to be 13 through 15 and go play in a solid bowl game. I think we keep it within some kind of respect. I also think Carter Smith and the offense might open up a little, so it gives us maybe a little bit here or there. Man, I'm going to go with you too. It could be like 30-10 or 27-10, 24-10, somewhere in there. If we score, I think we'd be lucky to score 10 points, sadly.
Yeah, it's tough. And, like I've said, Luke Altmaier is a good quarterback. It's gonna be tough to stop him. He's a guy who's played a lot of football, seen a lot of football, and has gotten better every year that he's been in college. Whether it's been at Ole Miss or whether it's at Illinois. I mean, we've seen his touchdown to interception ratio get better and better every year. I mean, this year he's at 21 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Whereas 2 years ago at Illinois, he was 13 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Like, he's getting better with, holding on to the, preventing turnovers. And, they have some good receivers there at Illinois. They've got some good skill position players, and we know they're going to have a good offensive line with Brett Bielema. So, but you know what, Bernie?
I'm excited to watch it.
I'm always going to be excited to watch it no matter what. I'm excited to be I'll also be at the Vanderbilt Kentucky game here this weekend in Nashville. That'll be a lot of fun. And it's always a lot of fun to see you, buddy, here.
Listen, it's great. Hey, we only got 2 more games left. Like, you gotta be excited for them. Like, I'm still excited to watch Badger football. I'm just saddened by, there are thousands of us sitting around here going, maybe hundreds of thousands going, why aren't they doing anything?
Yeah.
And now with people decommitting, it's like, come on, guys. You're saying all the wrong things. You're doing all the wrong things. Let's just Go back to Badger football.
Let's. Well, we appreciate everyone coming back here to Believe in Badgers on the Believe Network, presented by FanDuel and Oak Bridge Wealth Management. We'll be back again on Monday. Make sure that you guys are hanging out. Come get the tickets and hang out with us on our live show with Preston Zachman this coming Monday, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. You can find the details for that in the show notes here and on our social media. That is going to be presented with Show Us. We really appreciate them reaching out to us and having us be part of that. You guys, like we said, you come here, you come up, you show up to that. You can be on the show with us. You can and show us your Badger fandom and show us how you're feeling about that. So we hope everyone enjoys the game this weekend. We hope everyone continues to enjoy what we're doing here on the podcast. So as always, Bernie, until next time, on Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.